Marty, a flux capacitor! Hi kids, welcome to the kitchen of creation. Here where I basically can find the only bit of space currently at the moment to make stuff and show stuff. So, this video is being recorded on the 25th of July. When this is the day that I've restarted Terry on Tuesday, so thank you for joining me. The reason this video is actually being recorded so early is because I've got a lot of the things that I need for this particular project, and I can't talk about it today. I have to do it in the future, so you're watching past Terry talking about. Anyway, the reason why is this is a gift, or by the time you watch this was a gift for a mate of mine whose birthday it was. And he's massively into Back to the Future. So, for his birthday, I ordered some really cool figurines, and they came all the way from Australia, and he's got them. So, I was like, what can I get him that he hasn't got? Great Scott, Marty! A flux capacitor! So, how do we make a flux capacitor on a budget, but rather good? At this point, I've got almost everything I need. So, let's go take you through it. Tape measure, always handy. So this is a pine box. It's hinged, it's extremely well made. It measures 300 millimeters by 400 millimeters by 150. It's as close as I could find to the electrical box that was used for the movie prop. The movie prop box is called a Stalin enclosure, and it's made of plastic, and it's got proper hinges and catches and everything on it, and it's about $180. So, saw that. Right, so, got myself a pine box, marked out, I don't know if you can see it, marked out the shape where the window is going to go, so I've got to cut that. But inside it, as you can probably hear, are a ton of things that I need to make a flux capacitor. Right, look at that, lovely little ribbon there to keep the thing from opening. The flux capacitor, I'll show you a photo of it like this. Okay, so apart from the window that's going to be in the front of the crate, it's got a number of things, mostly in threes, weirdly enough. At the top, two at the top, one at the bottom, we have these solenoids, which the real things are about the same size as this, and made of metal. Oh, nice and shiny. I've 3D printed these and sprayed them gold. I made fake 3D printed brackets with a fake screw and everything. So basically these are the solenoids, so you need 3 of these and a little dip there for another part. But on the solenoids go authentic labels from these actual parts. Now, I did buy the labels from a guy on eBay who, by the way, the majority of this is eBay except for the 3D printed stuff. Let's have a look. Solenoid labels, here we go. I got 4, and it says high voltage relay, etc, etc, etc. They're really nice foil labels, and they're the right size to go on the solenoids. So they're going to go on and look mostly accurate. Got a bit of painting to do on that. These 2 sticky uppy things need to be black, and I think the nut shapes around here need to be silver. Okay, and some wires I've got to go in there. Connecting on top of the solenoid, so like I say, there's a little dip in the middle. You'll see. I bought 3 completely clear marbles. I was looking for plastic, but glass would have to do. So these are about 20 millimeter diameter, and they all sit like that. Why do they sit like that? Because there's an old school blown glass L-shaped thing here, which I am going to make out of plastic and that. So, I have decided to buy plastic test tubes, because the glass ones look pretty much the same. I'm going to glue the ball to the test tube like that, and another test tube on top like that at a right angle. Now I'm going to cut this one down to about where my fingers are, about 1 inch, because on top of that goes a plug and a cable. Inside these tubes, by the way, going to drill a hole in the end, put a piece of brass wire, like a coat hanger wire, through there, and they kind of look like the sort of electrodes that you get. Now once these are all on, the electrodes all rest on these pieces of perspex. I haven't taken the protective plastic off yet, but it's going to be a clear perspex that rests on there like that. And the trick with this is the sides will be painted black or grey, but underneath here will be lit with LEDs, so the light travels up through the plastic and makes it look like there's light flying through the tube. Very clever. Now, I'm not doing electronics, I'm not good at electronics. My mate Jos is going to make a backboard that fits on here. Everything will be connected to that, and he's going to wire up LEDs from the back, I think 3 or 4 that go across there, just so they animate nicely when it's switched on. Okay, so on top of the solenoid and the inch worth of tube that I was just talking about is a plug and a cable. The plug is 3D printed. A lot of people just use American jumper cables. You can buy them and they're pretty close, but these are, I designed these and printed them myself. It took about an hour to print 3 of them, and they're more like the actual shape. They need to be sprayed an orangey red, but that sits on top of the test tube. Imagine we've got here, so that sits on top there. I'll glue that on, and in the other end is a piece of cable. Now, I was looking for cable, couldn't find the right dimensions and colour, so I got this white nylon pipe, and I got a meter, chopped it up. This is much more than I need for one. Then this goes in the end here, if it will fit. Probably not. I'll have to do a bit of sanding. So basically it goes in the end there, and it curves down at like a 90-degree angle and goes into the backboard. Stick up another picture so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I've got pretty much all I need, apart from the electronic bits and the backboard. So I can't assemble anything at the moment, so there's me 3 pipes. There's me 3 plugs, because 3 is the magic number apparently. And 6 test tubes, because I need 1 vertical, 1 horizontal. Test tubes, all eBay, it's part of the 3D printed things, like I said. 3 glass crystal balls, test tubes, 3 pieces of angled perspex. These were from the same chap who did the labels for me, because he does all the pieces for a arc reactor, flux capacitor, except the box, so I decided to make my own box and my own solenoid. So 3 solenoids all sprayed gold. And the clear perspex window. The guy who did these on eBay, sold me the labels, etc. He supplies that. So if you bought yourself the really expensive box, you cut a hole in it at the 5mm bigger than this all the way around, and he gives you the piece of black rubber trim that goes all the way around to keep it in place. So that's why I've marked it out on top there, like that. And I've drawn a line around it at 5mm bigger all the way around, which is where the black rubber will sit. So I have to cut out the hole today, and then I'm going to do a bit of sanding, and then I'm going to paint it all grey with a darker grey inside. I've marked out, I don't know if you can see here, where the solenoids and everything goes. I hope you can see that. You'll see the 2 big ones at the top there and there. Then you've got the perspex pieces that go to the centre, and then you've got another solenoid at the bottom. That's roughly where they are, and they'll all show up on there. But they won't be on here, they'll be on a piece of board which fits exactly in here at, what was it? 280 by 380. Okay? Probably going to put either a hole in the back so we can have a switch there, or it'll be in the top so we can have a switch on top, which would probably be nicer actually. And I've also ordered chrome sort of suitcase clips. They're actually called toggle catches, and they will clip on there much like the real thing. On the top of the box, just above the window, and on the window itself, are some old Dymo labels. Remember Dymo labels if you're old? That's a Dymo label. It says disconnect capacitor drive before opening, that goes above the window, and shield eyes from light, which goes somewhere along there at the bottom of the window. So I could have bought the Dymo machine to click, click, click these, but just for doing 3 labels, I may as well buy them from the same chap. So he's done those, and I think that's about it. I think we should cut to the bit where I've cut a hole in this. Yeah, let's do that. So I, being an impatient git, have cut out the front panel for the flux capacitor box. Quite a nice job of that. And because I'm impatient, I didn't use the proper tool. I used a Dremel, a scalpel, and a broken hacksaw blade. I just broke the end off so I could get it through the slots, and then all the way around. Did the job, and then today's post just came in. Literally just came in. Haven't even opened this yet, but I shall do now. Oh look! It's a coping saw with a load of blades, which I bought specifically for this. That's what you get for being an impatient git. Would have made life a lot easier. Anyway, that goes in the toolbox. Hint, kids, use the correct tool for the job. It's gone fine. It's great. I'm actually going to put the rubber in a sec, and the glass for a test. But you know, it could have gone completely pear-shaped. Luckily it's rectangle shaped. We'll rearrange this camera, and then we'll see what we can do about getting the plastic and the gasket in. Fortunately, I'm not going to remove the clear plastic from both sides just yet, because I want to keep it scratch free for as long as possible. So if you remember, it's only yesterday, I basically drew around this board and added an extra 5mm for the thickness of the gasket. The 5mm is that bit in the middle there, see? So, I've never actually fitted one of these things before. I'm hoping this is the right length. I may have to cut it down. Right, so how do we do this? I'm not sure. Okay. I may have to speed this section up just so... let's move the camera a little bit. I may have to speed this section up just so you can see me fiddling around with this until I get it done. Okay. Does this go on there or does it go on there? I do not know. Okay. Right. I'm going to try putting it on here first. Ladies and gentlemen, I admit defeat. This is a tricky thing to do. I'm going to zip off to YouTube and see if I can find out if there's because there's probably a really simple method of doing this. Anyway, I'll be back as soon as I get some more insight on how to do this. Okay, so I'm back. I went to YouTube and watched 2 different videos by experts talking about how to install this, which is called, now I know, locking gasket. So yeah, it's in the right way, and you do put this on first. But the experts now, one guy was fitting a giant piece of glass into a metal cabinet, and boy did he have some trouble. This is an expert, by the way. Firstly, he got this in by hand. Then he gave everything a massive coat with either silicone lubricant or WD-40. Really soaked it, and then got the one corner in and got like a knife in there and wedged it all the way around, and kept banging it with a hammer. So it's not easy. Now, what worries me is not the physical aspect of it, but if this were the fiberglass box for the original flux capacitor or a metal crate, no problem, you can go at it hell for leather and just make sure you don't scratch the glass or the plastic. But being thin plywood, you've got to be very careful that you don't wreck it. And also, once this is painted and it's time to put the glass panel in, I don't want to start scratching the paintwork or anything like that. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful. So yeah, I'm going to move straight on to painting this box now. So down here is the box. It's had 2 coats of primer and a nice sand, so it's dead smooth. Only on the outside, as you can see. So I've actually masking taped the hole back in just to stop the paint flying inside the box. But that's dead smooth now. And I'm going to hit it with the gloss grey over there. Okay, so that's the first coat on, very light. It's looking nice and shiny. There is a horrid little scratch there, which I will probably try and fill. I should have filled it earlier, but I didn't see it. Oh, the rain is coming down. I might have to move this a bit further in the dark, but I'll give it another 10 minutes to go off, and then I'll hit it with some more grey paint. I will save some grey probably to cover up that scratch, but generally I'm liking the look of this very much if it ever comes into focus. Okay. So now it's time to get the window perspex in with the rubber gasket. Now I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be awesome when it's done. That means I can get to put the stickers on. But also I'm not looking forward to it because this is very, sort of 2 or 3 mil ply and prone to cracking and splitting if I'm not careful. And as I've said in previous videos, the experts use hammers and everything else on steel cabinets to get these things in. Now I've got to do it gently, gently, softly, softly, monkey, monkey. So yeah, I'm probably going to do this in high speed and put music over it so there's no swearing involved. And I'm back. I have a coat hanger. So the only wire coat hanger I have, the rest of them are plastic. But this is a kind of bronzy colour, but I know for a fact that if you rub it down with a bit of sandpaper, yeah, it goes silver. There's a coating in it. I'm going to need 3 pieces of this as straight as possible. So I'll start with this end. There we go. Should be enough. I'll try and do this bit as well. Ooh, brilliant. They didn't use drill chucks in these, but they look almost exactly like, when you see the reference pictures, they look almost exactly like what they need to be. So why bother? Why bother going mad? It's all going to be hidden away and illuminated and stuff. So, let's just get close, but don't kill yourself over it. Okay. Will that fit through there? If not, I'll have to use another one. Ooh, it's a lot tighter than the last. There we go. Perfect. Really nice tight grip. Let's see how long it needs to be. Then I can cut 3 of these. So, oops. Here we go. So that goes on there. That goes about there. Now I think on some of them the wire stops at this point here. Some of them, they do them having sort of sticking over like that, as if these were kind of going to generate sparks or something. I mean, the whole point for this is for lights to come to show through, to pretend to light up the tube. So I'm going to put, yeah, I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to have the end of the plastic tube level with that point. Okay, it's a tiny little, you can just about see that shiny mark there. The reason I haven't cut all the way through it just yet is because firstly I want to measure it, and secondly, when the ball is in, the ball actually goes slightly within the tube, you see, it's a curve, so I've got to cut it a little bit shorter than that mark, I think. Okay, so let's measure it first. I'll do this in, I still use inches, I shouldn't do, but I'm going to measure anything in small distances, I'll measure in millimeters because I feel it's more accurate. Okay, where's the mark? There it is. It's exactly 90 millimeters. See the shiny marks right on 90 millimeters. So I'm going to take maybe a millimeter off that. So just before 90. And then we're going to cut 3 of them. Right, let's take the first one. Let's see what we're looking at. So that will go in there. Nice and tight. I'm not using super glue on this part because, because super glue will make the clear bits all go white and hazy. Unfortunately, that's what they do. That's pretty good. Yeah. Let's check with the ball. Yeah. So actually, the ball is touching the metal. I've got to try and make sure this is dead center now. I think I need to glue these in place. First thing I'll do, I'll E6000 that to that 3 times and just let it dry. It needs about 24 hours to dry anyway. So there we go. I taped it in the end just to hold it, stop it from sliding around. Now I can stand that around somewhere else.